Hello there, morons. It's Victor, King of the Morons, and tonight we will be drinking from my new shot glass from Laura. Thank you very much. She sent me the shot glass from New York City. I used to be a taxi driver. For those of you who don't know, when I was in college, I helped put myself through college with my father's help as well. My mom was to help too. But anyway, cheers, Laura. This is a laundry vid / answer your stupid questions video, which is something I do on this channel. Remember, all the stuff here on this channel is unedited. For those of you who really like my stuff, please subscribe to give me a break, man. That's where I put all my edited stuff, which I'm trying to be more active on over there. So I would appreciate that. Today I'm answering questions from a young lady, I assume. All ladies are young, aren't you? And she says her name is Lindsay. I'll just say her first name. And she says, hey, Victor, or King of the Morons, whichever you prefer. King of the Morons is fine. First, I'd like to send my condolences to Maggie. This is Maggie right here. There, right there, that's Maggie. So, condolences accepted. Thank you very much. I'm not trying to be morbid with the constant conversation of Maggie, so please just bear with me. I'm not gonna. This video is not gonna be about that. But I do want to say in the last video that there was a bit of a misunderstanding. I was talking about how people. Let me get that out of the way first. I was talking about how people, when I talk about my dog dying, or when they know about my dog dying, some people tend to tell me their story of how their pet died, which I don't mind at all in the comments, and I do read all your comments, and they didn't bother me at all. What I was talking about was people in real life. Like we have the student, and she's a wonderful girl. She's a wonderful girl. She has like I think 3 dogs and a cat. And she really liked Maggie, okay? And she doesn't speak English. She takes Spanish classes, so I'm sure she's not going to understand this. But anyway, she's a wonderful girl. But when she heard about Maggie, she was like, "Oh, that's too bad." And then she went into this long story about how her dog had died and how she felt, and it was a little uncomfortable for the manager of the school, Yukari, because Yukari really took it hard, you know, because she walked Maggie every day, and she was just as much. She's like a big sister. And of course, she does the MaggieSensei.com blog, which is really popular in this niche of Japanese teaching. But anyway, it was just weird how she just went on, and that's what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about comments that you guys leave. So yeah, for everyone who left comments about their pets, I sympathize with you, and I'm glad you sympathize with me, and no hard feelings about that at all. Okay, that out of the way, let's get to these questions from Lindsay. Who has many questions, and she begins with the obligatory ass-kissing section of the email, and she gives me her email, which is she gives me her background, which is that she has a BSBA. What is that, BSBA? I know a BA, business and BA. Okay, finance, and she's going to graduate soon, and she's always been fascinated with Japan. She wants to teach English. She wants to teach eikaiwa, which is English conversation. And she's teaching now as a volunteer, which is good for those of you who are hoping to come here and teach, be it for a short time or for a long time. Picking up a little part-time work as a volunteer in the States will help you when you come over in 2 different ways. It'll give you some experience, and it'll help you realize whether you like teaching or not. Because I really like teaching. I was complimented by I had a kengaku 2 days ago. Yes, kengaku means observation. Kengaku, and she was a Japanese teacher, and she teaches a lot of foreigners. And she said, "Oh, I'm intermediate," but she was actually very advanced. But at the end of the a kengaku comes, and I give her a sample class, like 20 to 45 minutes, and I gave her a sample class. And at the end of it, she said, at the end of the whole interview, she said, "Wow, you know, I've met a lot of fake teachers, and you're a real teacher," and that was nice. That was to hear. But because although I'm not technically a real teacher, I am someone that I give a good class. You know, I prepare. I know what I'm doing. Not because I'm smart, because as you guys know, I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. I'm a moron. I gotta be careful. But I put effort into my lessons, and that's all you have to do. Try, and right away you're a better teacher than half the people here, because a lot of people don't care. They're just waiting for the clock to. They're waiting to punch out so they can go drink at the bar or do whatever, right? Anyway, let's get back to this. So she thought it would be challenging. Well, yeah, let me get to her questions. Okay. So First, number one question, do you think it would be better, I'll put these questions in the description. Do you think it would be better to study a abroad program or come on my own on my first visit to Japan? So there are study abroad programs and they place you with host families, or you can come alone. Now I did kind of a combination. I came over and I knew this Japanese guy that I met traveling in Bolivia. And as soon as he found out I was coming, he met me at the airport and he forced me to come back to his house and stay with him. And I stayed with his family. Although he was at college, I stayed like one night and then he left me with his mom and dad, and I became their host son. And I had put him up in New York City when I lived there, and he was traveling around the world. I met him in Bolivia, then he went off to Iran and other countries and came back to Japan, to New York City, and I put him up. He slept on my couch. But anywho, I stayed with his family for 1 month, and then I got my own place. And I think that was a great experience. And I would visit my homestay family every weekend, every other weekend, little by little, once a month, once every 2 or 3 months. And we lost touch eventually. But I hope they're still alive. I don't know. But anyway, I should go look for them, right? Yeah, that's weird. Thinking that. So what do you think would be better? Every experience is different, and there's no wrong way to do it. If you do have a chance to do a homestay, try that. I think it would be really cool to do. But she wants to know which would give me a clearer picture or a better experience of what it is like to live in Japan. That's a hard one. But I guess the homestay would be a good way to go. So, yeah. But I think a lot of homestay programs, they want you to pay a lot of money. So I think that's basically her dilemma. If you can afford it, then go. But there must be some homestays that are not that expensive. But you would have to look into that. Number 2, good question. Gift giving. I've heard it's customary to give small, thoughtful gifts to your host family and or boss. So I had a few questions about that. Should I bring a gift for every person in my family, or just one for the whole crew? Should I get a gift for my new boss? And if so, what time? When is a good time to give it to him or her? I would say if you know how many people are in the family, then yeah, give individual gifts. It's hard sometimes, but what kind of gift is good? Buying something from your local, they want omiyage. Omiyage is a souvenir from your area, right? So if you're now it could be something that you're just pretty sure they'll like if you live in Florida and you want to give them like Disney goods and shit, and things like that. Sorry, then that's a good idea. But if in this woman's case, she's from Kentucky, and bourbon is the first thing that comes to mind, and yeah, that would be a good idea. Except a lot of people don't really drink that stuff. So, whiskey drinker. People do drink whiskey in Japan, but it's not like. I think it's like drunks like me or something. No, no, but I would think that the housewife of whatever house you're staying at is probably not going to be a big whiskey drinker. And if there are any children at the house that you're homestaying at, probably don't drink whiskey. So you want to go with other gifts. But buying something local might be fine. That could be something as easy as a T-shirt, And you can just write ahead and say what size, how big, what are their sizes, and then shoot one size lower, Or if you can afford it, buy a few sizes, and you can always find someone to give a present to someone later who helps you in life, right? In Japan. Hold on to it. So that's actually something good. And that's something I did. Whenever I go back, I buy lots of presents, even if I don't know who I'm going to give them to, which you might think is insincere, but but when I give them sincerely, but I have them ready, like New York things. Like, for example, I don't think I've ever bought New York shot glasses, but I bought New York salt and pepper shakers, and I held on to them, and then I found someone helped me later in my life here in Japan, and I gave them a set. So my answer would be, if you can, try to buy individual presents. If you don't know, then maybe buying some big general candies or presents, things like that might be fun. An easy thing would be a big candy pack. Japanese they don't like really sweet stuff, so don't get something that's like really sweet cake, generally speaking. But a lot of, if you got a big bag of different kinds of candy, like really nice, or nice chocolates, that might be a good idea, Make it American, right? Got to be American. Japanese always buy each other, I think, chocolate covered almonds or something from Hawaii. Are they almonds? I forget, but there's some kind of not cashew, some kind of popular Hawaiian chocolate that Japanese always buy for each other when they go to Hawaii as souvenirs for their friends. So that might be a good thing to do too. As for your boss, when is a good time to give a present to your boss? When you meet him, I guess. Yeah, I don't think there's any special time. Just hand him the present, right? But I don't think buying the boss is that big a deal. Buying the boss a gift is that big a deal. In Japan, it's pretty typical when you move to a new neighborhood to knock on all the houses, all your neighbors. Like, for example, when we moved to this street, we walked around to every house, knocked on the houses, and we gave them a pack. Their variations, the typical sets are, you give them a pack of soba noodles, buckwheat noodles, I believe, or soap, and or a towel. You can give them just a towel, like a hand towel. You know, here's a towel. We hi, we just moved in next door. We just want to come by and say hello. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Korekara yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And, tsumaranai mono desu ka? This is just a small token of our appreciation for letting us live in your neighborhood. And I've done it a couple times when I move apartments and stuff. So that's a good thing to do. Yeah, you could prepare for that too by bringing a bunch of small gifts of something from your country. But usually, if you have that experience in Japan, you just buy soap, soba noodles, or a towel. Those are the typical examples. Okay. She says, being from Kentucky, bourbon is the first thing that comes to mind. We've already talked about this. She says one of small batch brands. That might be a small, just cute little gift, bunch of little bottles. But again, only for the father, probably. The father might be interested in that, right? And yeah, whiskey. And she says bourbon and whiskey are well known and loved in Japan. Most people drink beer. Most people drink wine, chuhais, shochu. I would say, although they're Japanese are like world record, not world record, but Japanese whiskey is on par with the best whiskey in the world, and they win many contests every year. But I wouldn't say that they're necessarily a lot of people drink it. So, would bourbon be an appropriate gift for my host family? For your boss, if it's a man, yes, it would be appropriate. And the thing is, they can re-gift it, which is not a bad thing. You're actually helping them. If they don't drink, but you give them a nice bottle, they'll use it to help themselves with another relationship later. They'll re-gift it, which is fine. Okay, there's no special time to give a gift. Just, hi, I just got here. Oh, I got you a present. This is for you. Right. General stuff. Okay. Random things that she's worried about. Baths. This is a good question. She asked about taking a bath and how much time she should take in the bath. The way the bath system works is, the mother or somebody, usually the mother, will prepare the bath. She would pour the bath. I think is that what they call it? Pour the bath. And it's hot water in a bathtub. And then the father will go in and lather up and wash up and rinse, and then he will soak his body in the bath. Usually the order is the father, maybe the kids and the mother last, or maybe the mother and then the kids last. But basically it's like the pecking, like lions, the lion, the male lion eats first, and then the mother, and then the kids. With a host family, they might ask you to go first. If that's the case, be sure to bathe with soap outside of the bathtub, as in wash with soap, etc. Rinse off very well. Then get in the bath. Calculate 10 minutes if this is your first time. I would say 10 minutes is fine. Okay, you don't want to overdo it the first time, and then see what the rest of the family does. Okay, and if they all seem to take 30 minutes or so. Also, you have to think about how many kids there are and how many people are in the family. If you have like 3 kids, which is rare, but it could be, then everyone spent 30 minutes. It would take like 2 hours to take a bath at least, right? 2 hours and 30 minutes to take a bath. So think about that. But there are no real rules. A lot of my students, I ask them, how long does it take you? I teach the pattern. How long does it take you to blah blah blah? And a common answer with baths with some of the people like it takes 30 minutes or an hour, because they live alone and they enjoy their baths. So anyway, Okay, roads and signage. I've heard that lots of the streets aren't marked well. Since I have comically bad sense of direction, any advice on getting around? Yes, get an iPhone. And on the iPhone, there's a compass. And use that compass, right? Or use your Google Maps and plug in the address of where you're going and get there that way. That works great. I came here 23 years ago, and before iPhones existed, before the internet really was popular or accessible, and I used a physical compass, and it was great. Thanks to the compass, I could get around. But yeah, here's the funny thing about Japan. There are street names on major roads, but most people do not know what street it is. If you ask them, what street is this? You know, am I on this street? They have no clue. They really don't, the majority of people. My favorite story is I was trying to get to a party with a bunch of people. We were going to someone's house, I don't remember. But we were kind of in the country a little bit outside Nagoya, just a little bit outside Nagoya. And I slowed down to ask a person who was walking down the street. I said, excuse me, where am I right now? And he said, I don't know. Just like, and I got annoyed, like, what do you mean you don't know? I said, he goes, I don't know. I said, how can you not know where you are? And he said, you don't. That's one of my favorite stories. So, signs are badly marked. What you could do is just find something that's close to the person's house and put it into Google Maps, and you'll find it. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. It's not that hard, though. Most people have smartphones. Of course, if you come over, you don't have a smartphone, then bring a physical compass. You probably won't be walking around a lot alone in the countryside, but the Japanese people are great about directions. If you get lost and you ask someone, there's a 50-50 chance they're actually going to take you there themselves. They will physically make sure you get to your destination. Okay. Last one. What's the general entrepreneurial climate in Japan, especially for gaijin? As a business owner yourself, what are some of the pitfalls or challenges you've faced? As a foreigner, unless you have a lot of capital, starting off alone is almost impossible. You need a Japanese partner, okay? And to be honest, they facilitate everything. So, I mean, you can do all the contracts, and that's really great if you do it all yourself. There are a couple of foreigners who've done it, and they're quite proud of themselves, as they should be. But basically, I've done many things by myself here in Japan, but creating my own school was not one of them. I have a business partner who took care of all the paperwork. This was years ago, 15 years ago. I probably could have read the contracts if I'd taken time, but do you even want to read that stuff in English? I mean, why would you want to read it in Japanese? It's just, contracts. So, I rented the school, rented the space, and established the school, and thanks to her, right? Thanks to my Japanese partner. If you're alone and you try it, it's going to be really tough, right? Let me see what else she says. Are there any that you believe are unique to running a company in Japan? Any challenges? Yeah, the languages, of course. The fact that people getting bank loans and things like that. I mean, all that stuff. It's pretty tough, If you need money, and people generally will avoid doing business with someone they don't know. So it's all about connections. So the first thing you need to do is make connections, right? It would be very hard to come here with no connections and become a successful business. Now, unless you're investing money in some kind of franchise or something, but even that's hard because that's a lot of money. But of course, people will trust the brand name. So yeah, it's pretty tough. Anyway, her goal is to start a cultural consulting firm. I've taught business books in which the characters want to do this, but I've never seen it. I've never known it to exist, though I assume it must. Those kind of companies must exist. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really helpful on that one. I think it's going to be tough. I would say get a business partner and do it together, and it'll make things easier. Though find someone you can really work with, because I've met some foreigners who've done the same thing I've done, but they've ended up having major fights and being completely screwed over. Okay, she said last thing is I'm looking forward to lots of surprises in Japan, and that's true. Remember, everyone's experience is unique. My opinions and experiences are just mine. They may be similar to yours when you get here, but they may be completely different. Go with the flows, roll with the punches. So she wants to be as informed as she can. So good, she's doing the right thing. She's asking questions. Ask questions. Billy, before you ask questions, please Google it. Okay, I am the king of morons, but you could save me a lot of time, and I can make better videos, more interesting videos, if you Google stuff first, and you don't force me to tell you to look it up for you. You know, just Google it, man. Thanks a lot. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Stay fresh, and I hope to see you guys at Tokyo Hanami in 2 days. Peace out, and morons for life.